Welcome, everyone. This is Cynthia with your daily tarot card of the day. This week we are using the Sacred Circle Tarot. And I have information about that in the description box below if you're interested in looking it up. So while I tune into spirit and the collective energy, likewise, go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths to relax yourself. Tune into your own intuition, your own higher self, your own spirit guides. And when the card comes up, really take a moment to focus and see what messages come through for you. The messages that I provide are timeless, so whenever you happen to find this video, there will likely be something here that resonates with you. Take what resonates, and by all means, please leave behind the rest. If you find that the messages are not resonating with you, don't own it. Just lay it down and, meditate for yourself and find messages elsewhere, because Spirit is always communicating with us. Okay, I'm hearing to cut the cards. Eight of Pentacles. So I'm going to say today's energy is definitely focused towards some kind of productivity, prosperity. It could be a project you're working on, a creative endeavor. It could have something to do with your career or your work. It could also be just managing your resources, whether that be your time, your money, your tasks, your to-do list, right? The keyword skill really brings up this idea of trying to really manage whatever it is that's right in front of you. The fact that it's the pentacles or the discs makes me think that it's something that's actually manifest. So it's not so much like the ideas or, say, the plan, although that could be included. The communications could be included. But I'm feeling like there's an actual thing to do. And it's important for us to remember that whatever it is that's of top priority and has our attention is what is being done. Whether we're scrolling on our phones and, the energy of distraction has our attention. So we're, scrolling on our phones on social media or watching, binge watching a show on a streaming service, or listening to music and just kind of puttering around, or if we're actually at work, but then are we distracting ourselves by checking our email like way too often, because we're waiting on something, or we're waiting for the next thing to respond to. And so we might be consistently distracting ourselves. To a certain extent, this is talking to us about really drawing our energy back in and focusing deliberately on like one thing at a time right in front of us. And people can say, oh, I'm great at multitasking, or they do that duotasking thing where they have something, sort of passively activated and working in the background, but it's not requiring their hands-on attention. and they're doing something else that's hands-on and more active, right? So this idea of like active and passive functions and duotasking and multitasking, on the phone while you're, writing an email or a report or something like that, blah, blah, blah. To a certain extent, in terms of managing our efforts, our attention, our time, our energy, I'm getting this sense of reduce. If you want to do the pairing of like active and passive tasks, I can understand how that saves time and that actually saves some energy. For example, someone who's, at home, they might have their dishwasher and their laundry running. Those are two passive tasks that need to get done. But in the meantime, they're engaging in something active, like cooking a meal or vacuuming or working on a creative project or something like that, right? So there is that balance that can be had between active and passive, where you're pairing things in order to maximize, time and productivity. That's understandable. But what they're talking about is when it comes to a hands-on task, give your attention to it fully. This energy is bringing through, usually the Eight of Pentacles concerns a certain amount of mastery, or like we've been practicing or working with something for a while, and we might be leveling up, or we might be overcoming a particular challenge. Like, it was really difficult for me to get that, but now I've got it, and I've practiced it a couple of times and I feel really adept at it. So we can see that a lot of times, like in school, you're studying, high school, college, going back to school, taking a course or whatever the case might be, right? We can see it in learning a particular trade or something of that nature. But we can also see it, in our work lives, our careers, our daily lives, how we do this thing. Like, I was, never really good at doing ABCD, and then I learned this trick and I practiced it for a while, and now I've overcome it. I'm getting, with this particular Eight of Pentacles in today's energy, way less of that sort of practicing to mastery level. And it's more so, there could be a mastery of our personal energy going on here, but I'm really getting the energy of mastering our distractions, mastering those things that like divide our attention and then conquer our motivation, right? So what we're looking at here is trying to find that balance. If you do have a whole lot on your plate that requires your energy or requires being done today, right? Yes, you can find balance in the active and passive sort of duotasking type of a thing. But if you're trying to multitask, or if you are distracting yourself because you think something's going to take too long or too much, or you don't have the motivation or the energy or the attention to provide to that thing, and so you kind of push it off and procrastinate, pay attention to what's distracting you. Pay attention to what you are putting your effort, your energy, your attention, your mental, and then your mental energy and attention and your physical time is going into something. So it's almost like Spirit is asking you to pay attention to how you are using those faculties. And are you mastering your distractions? It's one thing to take a brain break, to do some stretches, to go for a walk, to get some water, and then maybe to, play a song or watch a 5-minute short of a comedian and you get a good laugh, right? But knowing that when that's over, you don't keep scrolling, or you don't let the whole playlist run, because you do have something else to get back to. So making sure that even your brain breaks, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, that there's something in there that's rather fueling you, feeding you, right? It's giving you a release and a relaxation, but it's also giving benefit to your body and to your mind, right? Um, and even in our distractions or our enjoyments, um, paying attention to that. What are we nurturing our minds and our hearts and our bodies with? Um, so I'm really feeling this energy of where spirit could be asking us to, focus on tasks at hand, balance the energies if we have a lot in front of us that seems to be calling our attention, seeing how we can manage our time and attention and energy with the tasks that are in front of us for the day. So, with that, okay, side note, there's a reminder that doing nothing is still doing something. So if your body, mind, and spirit are truly, truly calling you to rest and relax, then do so. And if the universe has, for better or for worse, put you in a position where you feel practically hogtied, you got sick so you can't go to work, or you I don't know, tripped on a walkway and twisted your ankle, so you're laid up for a day, or something like that, right? If the universe has handed you a situation that is physically preventing you from doing something that you're so up in your head about has to get done, then they could be asking you to stop and rest and recognize that right now it doesn't really need to get done. And if your attention keeps going into the worry and the fear, in that sense, looking at your situation as a problem to solve, well, can I give that to somebody else to do or whatever? Beyond trying to say, okay, maybe I can delegate this task, or maybe somebody else can help me, or maybe I can do that thing from my home computer because I can't go into the office, and I can spend an hour just kind of focusing and relaxing without distraction, right? If there's an actual solution that shows up to something very specific, then go ahead and engage with that. But if you are sitting worrying about a thing for hours, feeling guilty, feeling bad, feeling like something's wrong, when there's really, you're making it all up in your head because you're feeling or owning some kind of external pressure, the universe is asking you to stop and slow down and realize that taking care of yourself and that doing nothing is actually allowing other energies to work with you and to work with whatever it is that you are concerned about. So sometimes if we hover too much over what we're working on and trying to dig our hands in all the time because we're feeling the pressure of a deadline, or we're feeling the pressure of a need or desire or something like that, sometimes we actually block the progress. And so the universe puts us in a position where we literally cannot physically interact with the thing, but our mental energy needs to also stop in those moments, because that can clutter up the vibrational space, the energetic space of something stewing. When you're going to stew something, it's a set it and forget it thing. So is there something that in your mind you're hovering over that you need to possibly allow it to stew, allow it to bake without constantly staring at it, right? Putting it from the active pile into the passive pile. Let it play in the background and focus right here, right now on, you know, your rest, your rejuvenation, your healing, your self-nurturance, in some sense like that. So I was about to close this out, and that extra message came through as well. Maybe that resonates with somebody. Wishing you lots of healing and prosperity and abundance. And wishing you plenty of peace and blessings and focused attention with love and trust. May you have a beautiful and blessed day.